Welcome to 5-ALA Health and Science News. This video was broadcasted by NBC Nagasaki Japan on February 26, 2021. Nagasaki University announced that they found a type of natural amino acid called 5-ALA that suppresses the infection of COVID-19. Why is the amino acid effective for COVID-19? The key was what it has in common with malaria, which the university has been researching for a long time. 5-aminolevulinic acid phosphate, also known as 5-ALA, originated from the primitive Earth 3.6 billion years ago, and is considered the material of the origin of life involved in the genesis of various life forms. A large amount is contained in fermented food and green and yellow vegetable. Our bodies also produce it, but the peak production is at age 17, and it declines from that point forward. The team of Kiyoshi Kita from the School of Tropical Medicine and Global Health verified that when 5-ALA is administered to the cells of patients infected by COVID-19, it completely inhibits the replication of the virus when 5-ALA was administered over a certain amount. Even researchers wonder why it works. In the gene sequence of COVID-19 there is a segment called G4 structure that composed of 4 adjoining guanines. When the metabolites of 5-ALA is attached to this part of the sequence, the virus does not replicate. In other words, it is considered that they will heal even when they are infected. How did they find out? This G4 structure has the same sequence possessed by the pathogen of one of the top 3 infectious diseases in the world, malaria. Professor Kita's team verified the effect of 5-ALA in the research for malaria and was exploring the mechanism for healing. At that time, they reached the possibility that combination of G4 and 5-ALA suppressed the infection.
When we look at the genome of COVID-19, there are multiple G4 structures. If that was the case, then 5-ALA might work. Even though I am not a specialist for the virus, but the great part of being at Nagasaki University is that Dr. Morita and Dr. Yasuda were in the department working on joint research regularly, so I talked to them about this idea, and by May, we got the lab results that 5-ALA suppressed the replication of COVID-19.
Heme and protoporphyrin are the metabolites made by 5-ALA in our bodies. When this attaches to the spikes of COVID-19, the virus cannot bind with the cell receptor. It means that they cannot infect us. It also has the possibility of the preventative effect. Furthermore, intake of 5-ALA can lead to increase of heme, the enzyme that breaks down the increased heme, suppresses the immune disorders that in a severe reaction called cytokine storm, since it has an anti-inflammatory effect. Also, the ability of 5-ALA to enhance immunity is expected to improve in the after effect of COVID-19.
It is simply an amino acid that we have in our body, so it is extremely safe. It is very stable at room temperature, it does not require a freezer. Actually, the effect does not decline in a few years, there is nothing negative about it. Although, we should not say this by ourselves. Since we have discovered this, it is our obligation to study how to use 5-ALA to suppress the new coronavirus. In this sense, we hope that colleagues doing basic experiments and doctors doing clinical work can unite and produce results as soon as possible.
What was verified currently was the suppression effect at the cellular level. At Nagasaki University, we started the clinical trial in humans on the 4th of this month to see if it is effective for the patient and the dose it requires. Dr. Kita says trial was possible only in Nagasaki University, where we have researchers for infectious diseases and doctors for clinical tests. Thanks to this environment and the history of malaria research so far, we can make this major discovery. What I wonder is how much 5-ALA needs to be administered to be effective for COVID-19. We are still conducting the specific clinical test now to find out. However, we know that it is impossible to take that much from food. Relatively speaking, natto and red wine contains a lot of 5-ALA, but consuming it does not mean it can prevent you from getting infected. However, the results of the experiment have come out, and we are very looking forward to the next progress. We will pay close attention to the results of future research to see if it can be a clue to save the world.